Well, hello people use internet. I am greatest and self-line ship GP. Back with now my project, drawing old Smash character from memory. Part, bloody don't remember what part it is. Because man, I'm not good at keeping this in paste. So yeah, this project was, what was it? Yeah, just, I was making animation, didn't make any project of mine, and now I'm right now coming back to those projects. And what I can say, so let's just stop saying anything and just watch it right now. Okay, I assume we'll start with Robin from Fire Emblem. I would assume that Robin from Fire Emblem because mostly the character I don't know, it's mostly come from Fire Emblem, mostly because of numbers. Mostly, again, if you watch this whole series of Midrun for Memories, you know that some games I'm not familiar with. And like, still not familiar with, because mostly, it's not like I would have some desire to go watch Fire Emblem's gameplay footage. Or mostly because, yeah, I don't know, I never had it before, why I would have it now. I decided to watch something come randomly. And mostly, it mostly also depends on the person who I watch, because if it's person I like and he playing it, there's a big chance I will watch it actually. But for now, well actually there's a chance I will play it. Not right now, in the future. If it's something good happened in my life, I will totally play it. Mostly with this guy, because mostly I have no idea who he is, and the only memories of him I have from general Smash gameplay footage. All those experiments made by this guy who calls himself Hydra, and very long name, who does experiment of Smash, can they do that or not. And mostly I just remember him as this guy, super edgy, anime code, and magic book. So mostly that's what I was going with. Just we decided to draw the code, because I want to make a nice looking code, and then decided to draw his legs and body and then remove the lines I didn't need. I don't think he was trying to do any new things I learned, because mostly, oh no, I think here I'm trying to play a little bit with chins, like I'm trying to learn how to make a slightly different change. Most for this character, man, bloody hell, don't remember who he is. Here I decided to do a code, but like this code will be open, you will see inside of it, and his arm will go through this sleeve and do something like appear to another side. Which I guess it's not exactly how big codes work, but it's something I really want to do. Now for other hand, I will draw him a dagger because I think he have a dagger, and a book giving the perspective like this, from this perspective. For hair I decided to do something just simple spiky anime hair, something Rita from To Love Ru, something that a bunch other anime characters have, most I can't remember any one of them. Although man, Kill la Kill, I think they're my character, they also have similar hair color. It's this spiky but not super wild, like grounded spikiness. And for other stuff, man, I decided mostly just give him lots of edginess and like lots of those edgy stuff. Because mostly for his full body I bloody don't remember nothing. I just remember he have a coat, this coat have a little bit yellow, he probably very short because I doubt he will be bare chested while wearing the coat. A belt. Sorry for that. And I still cannot bloody cough enough. Like I'm coughing but I cannot never bloody make this one amazing cough which will bloody make me stop deciding to cough. Because it's all this a weakish cough which is will not bloody cure your cough, you'll still want to cough, but you cannot make this one strong cough which bloody fix everything. No, it's you can't just get this, you can't just solve all your problems like this. But most for other stuff, yeah, but I would say he's pretty baseless. I mean, I try to do lots of those details, like give him fingers, gloves, which is I bloody like with a book, which I'm not sure exactly how the book will look from this perspective. And other stuff, yeah, not much I can say. Like I said, I can see a little bit minus of my there that his pants actually slightly, his waist and his legs are slightly cutting off. But because I originally was thinking about giving him a jacket, that way his body look pretty away slenderish. Yeah, well, is there a way to fix this? I mean, if I make the body a bit more longer, then maybe I could easily fix this. Other stuff, simple boots, actually he is left boot from his perspective is a bit off. Also give him a white blue eyes, also eyebrows. I think I started giving my characters a bit more thicker eyebrows. I get to see on those lines and that stuff. Other stuff, against perspective of the book, actually, it's not like this, it's more like this, something like this I would say. Like it's going straight without the bend. Which is not bad I would say. Although maybe bend would be better. Plus his book is pretty, maybe way too big-ish, I'm not sure. But on this note, let's bloody compare some characters and original version. Okay, comparing him with original, first of all, I actually did right, it gave him a little bit different back of how you call it, when you grow hair. But again, my is very short, and I think his ears totally inside of his hair. When I draw characters, I usually try to keep ear on the head, like without separation line. But also know about those tricks when the hair, the ear just inside of the hair, and you know, skin color and that stuff. I hope you know what I'm talking about because I cannot bloody describe it. And first of all, man, his hair, it's spiky on the outside, but on the head it's just going straight line, so it's a bit more normalish. I think his eye color is brown or maybe red. I would say look brown to me, but I cannot do that right now. For sword, it's actually a full-time sword, and I totally pronounced it wrong. But I did the veiness of it's right. But it's also have a little bit more detailing. But again, it's anime sword, which anime sword doesn't. His book is yellow. He does have fingerless gloves. Does he? Well, I think on this arm I see something like fingerless gloves. So that's my agent's design, which is actually something that exists in a real character. He does have this cloak, but inside it's more pinkish, reddish, darkish, brownish. And for cloak, it's have some stitches. I get the raw yellow part more right, but the yellow part is more bigger. If I get more textures on it. On the tips of the coat bottom, I did write the triangles, but it's more triangles and smaller triangles inside. I decided to just do the spikes. But I guess it can be called triangles. He have those belts, but again, super lots of belts. Okay, not so lots, it's like only two. He's wearing a bit peasantnish short, and also these flaps on his crotch. Very unique boots, which have these flaps, which I never give him because I can't memorize this. And for other stuff, also have his, I think it kind of look like he have a hood. But I think maybe it's not a hood. But on this note, not much I can say. So on the next character, let's go right now. Okay, so the next character is Shulk, and man, for him, also have no idea from what game he came. I just noted this guy is not for Fire Emblem because I think this guy from his own original game. And for his design, bloody hell, in my head I just have the second Robin. I think they have similar hairstyle. Of course, the clothes which make them different. But I think mostly just very similar looking character. Okay, not very similar because man, I'm pretty sure that Shulk and Robin are two different characters. Yes, I know, in my hairstyle maybe they could look pretty similar-ish. Because I'm trying to draw from memory and my memory is not exactly very great. Trying to do some differences with him. Again, it will be the spiky anime, not full spikes, but still, man, I just said it, it's grounded spikes. Doing stuff like this. And for his clothes, again, I think I decided to give him the same jacket, but again, more Hawaiian, well, not Hawaiian, but tropical look. As for hair, man, I think I should maybe make him a bit more spiky, like, because his hair look pretty just smallish to me. I don't maybe just add spikes on the back, on the left side from your perspective. But what for that stuff? Yeah, again, I'm on the body, drawing the sword, and for sword, let's say the sword, and I'll start drawing the sword. Maybe I'm right now drawing the sword, because again, there was moments that I stopped drawing for doing some of my personal stuff. And I could be delayed in my reaction or comments. That could be a process, so remember about it. Yeah, for sword, I decided to draw a hollow, and most of the swords, man, I will not say I'm the best drawing sword guy, because first of all, I have problem keeping my line straight. And have problem, man, I have tons of problems with that. Almost make me wonder why I started doing this. Because I bloody want to do this. I have to learn and adapt. So for that stuff, nothing much I can say. I think, for close, yeah, bloody hell, I have nothing much to say. You know, it's like the worst moment, and I have not much to say about what I'm doing right now. Actually, I now have something to say what I'm doing about right now. The fact that his body is bending, man, it's a fact I really want to learn, but which get me pretty problematic, because I never can get it right to see. And I'm trying to do lots of things, like drawing this line to show indication of the body bending. Because for this one I give him a pretty visible booty. Which, I'm not sure, is it correct or not? Yeah, no, it's anime characters. They usually have pretty hot that kind of type of bodies. And also for shoes, just give him... didn't give him sneakers, man. I have really bad memory on that stuff. Yeah, I give him sneakers and also sneakers on the bare legs. Although I think it's something you can do. I mean, usually when I wear some super short shorts, I usually just wear sandals. But you know, different people, different style. Adding a bunch of white lines or some blue lines. I guess most of the blue lines go on the sword because I think it's something like techno sword, which I probably will bloody know if I know the series, but I'll do some techno sword which give him some techno boost of that stuff. That's the only thing I can remember. Now for other stuff, give him a zipper, which I bloody like doing, and I get the blue eyes. I think most characters have blue eyes. Well, I know because mostly in the media blue eyes are represented something like super heroic. But in my case, because most I don't remember other eye colors. I mean, mostly right times are right. Mostly times. Because again, this theory of heroic blue eyes is correct. And it's almost a trope. Another stuff. Okay, well, it's kind of the jacket plus short, but it's like really tropical. I don't know. I see it's something not tropical. I mean, yeah, when a jacket, you totally will get super sweaty and it will be really uncomfortable. But learn from my own personal experience. And the sword I decided to give him a slightly different color so it didn't like fully blend with his clothes. Again, not sure it's right or not. Also for sword in the hollow part I decided to give it a little more color differentiation, like it will glow and something like this. Also the tip I make it a bit more brighter to show this effect of shininess new blade. And again, crochet legs, shorts and very slender legs. On this note, bloody hell, not much to say. Weirdly, it's such poor thing that I have not much to say about my personal drawings. I know what, yeah, I think I was saying about the hair, nah, it looked pretty fine. Yeah, nah, the hair looked fine on me, and it's finished version, it's not so bad. I guess maybe those spikes in the head does make it just a little bit more better. And I guess maybe, man, I would assume the original version have basically the same hairstyle as Robin. I would assume, or maybe even more. But you know, to compare original, bloody go watch the original right bloody now. Okay, come here, comparing him with the original. Okay, first of all, yeah, I was right. He's have basically similar to Robin hairstyle. Or maybe I think it's more spiky in the whole way of his hair, like inside hair, not out. But I guess in Robin's case it's a bit more, but in his case it's okay. The eyes are blue. For other stuff, okay, first of all, his clothes are a bit more combat battle. It's like, in my head I was thinking him like full-time tropical jacket boy. But no, he looked like actual character from fantasy game. Which is, again, he does have the jacket but without the sleeves. He does have these grey shorts. I mean, I did give him something like grey short which you can see next to his neck, but it's not very visible because again, I was most focusing on the jacket. And mostly, man, jacket like, although his jacket have some metallic parts which is white, but again it's like metallic parts inside of the clothes. And of course he have this hood. So I can see my version have a hood, I just cannot see it. He doesn't have a hood, it's, I never planned about the hood. Now for short one, for arms, lots of those bullet kills and lots of those belts. Also have some form of amulet. Also his clothes are go on his body, and his shorts are very longish and have so many colors: red, darkish red, silver, purplish blue. That's like 4 colors. Not, I know his crotch have grays in it, so 5 colors. Also he have lots of those belts underneath the shorts, and so many belts. Why you need so many belts? Cool, but why? Because his boots are, well, they kind of look like sneakers, but this folding part going way out of the bottom. There's no laces, and it's how it's connected. Well, why do you have this part? Man, Shulk, you have so many details about the sword. Man, I get the uniqueness of the sword, but can't doing this exact sword is my minus. First of all, he doesn't have the hole at the tip. Well, not the tip is a sharp part. At the bottom, he doesn't have to have a hole. I mean, he have this blue circle, but it's not hollow. Although maybe it is hollow, just from this perspective, it doesn't look like hollow. The blue line go over the sword, I decided to just do some of those lines and some darkish in it. The original sword does have darkish in it. I mean, it have holes, but it's not darkish. It has a dark background. And there's no light inside of the circular. It just the lights on the circular. also have this lot of segmentation and that holding parts and lots of those bands. But it's very cybernetic sort. In my case, it's very smaller and very more simple one. Like again, I'm drawing from memory. How the hell I'm gonna memorize every detail possible? Considering the fact I'm not very big Smash game fan. I mean, it's fun, but I'm not saying like fully obsessed and know everything about this game. Also, plus I have no idea who the hell Shulk is. Man, I have to Google it later. We'll Google it later to put text and that stuff, but for now, bloody have no idea who you are. Oh yeah, I guess give him a right nose to be fair. The nose is more regular. I think I did the same with Robins, but again, noses was one of those things I'm not paying much attention to. Unless you have very unique nose. On this note, let's not keep you any longer. For the next one, we shall go right now. Okay, so now finally for some character I bloody know who have some simpler, but I will not be surprised if it's pretty complicated design. About the Junior. My main goal, again, this black size and those just big mouth with the Bowser similar color skin. For that stuff, not much, I guess just it's very easy. I think original was also thinking about giving him some whiteness in his eyes, but it's something I forgot. And now he gave him a mane, which somewhat similar to his father. But I originally was pretty problematic to pick and write a smoky mane, and it took me some time, so it's like something hardish and that stuff. But I did it. I like it. Again, man, I like doing those Erekas, this, or mains, sometimes I call it like this. But I never can memorize the perfect way to do this, and it's constantly problem with me because there's something I like to do constantly, but always having some problem memorizing how to do it. Like my favorite crossed arms, which I first learned from Danny Phantom, but then constantly have to freaking he used some reference image. I know some artists use lots of those reference image. I just sometimes wish to be able to draw something without a reference image, like learn something to do, like be able to draw it in the wild without no internet, without no picture uploadness. But for that stuff, also give him those knuckles. First of all, decide to draw a big finger with the thumb on the knuckle. Actually, logically, I don't know, it can look like this. And also some nails which will go inside of his palm. And for that stuff, on the both hand, also try to do this leg perspective, which I surprisingly doing pretty constantly. I mean, okay, not that constant to be like the main thing that in every of my drawing you will see. But then I have a nice amount of me drawing one leg inside of something and the second leg being on top of it. When I teach him to load to do this, but I hope you get the idea. I really was thinking about it not more in the middle, but it's also great, and I decided to move it a bit more to the left. Okay, I really think it's not something like Bowser Jr. would have, because I think generally his feet are pretty shortish. So I give him a little bit growth spring. How the hell I pronounce it? Now for his cut, but sadly it's not a perfect circle, which is bloody hell minus. A very huge minus. But I did really cool effect of his propelling. Oh, how cool it's bloody lines. So it's not that cool. Hey, for me I think it's cool. Before I decided to do him in angry position with the boxing gloves. Although I think when he's in this angry position it's mostly that he have those wheels. Yes, I know some fact about this game. I'm not sure it's a real fact, I think it's fact. Also those sticks, the circle for the joints, and those boxing gloves, cartoony boxing gloves. For perspective, looks so not so bad. I originally was so thinking about giving him some spikes on the back, but I think from this, did I actually give him whiteness in the eyes? Man, I don't bloody remember it. I think I did not. Oh man, I cannot breathe right now. So whenever I'm constantly will talk close to my certification. Now here one common level. My minus is whenever I shrink the image, the lines get super small, and whenever I color it with the bucket tool, the lines will go overboard. So I have to add a mess of the setting for my bucket, which I was doing. And I was doing to bloody find a nice perfect image, or I could just, I don't know, take the liner, use the coloring tool and make the lines a bit more thicker. Although usually it looks super unnatural, although some cases just generally work this way. On other cases, I give him this. I mean, I remember he having this thing, so I give him this thing. And I'm not sure it's actually like a mouse, I think it just tips and those red stuff. But I also decided to give him like some blackness inside of it, like it's an actual mouse. For this device, well, actually, I'm really usually hesitating to use color white, Because again, I use white backgrounds, and I think when I use color white, yes, will get together, mixed together, and you cannot tell nothing. It's like, is there anything in there? Well, yeah, there is this egg-shaped vehicle, and for that stuff, usually try to go with darkish color, like darkish white. Like for example, for his napkin on his chest, I decided to use a bit more grayish white because I wanted you to be able to see it. I think the original is like full-time white. But except for vehicle, I was thinking about using a bit more darkish color white. But instead to go just simple white because, I don't know, it's not something I should just ignore. I think I remember it being white, I should bloody make it white. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of using white colors for my drawing. Also, I'm not a big fan of using super bright colors for my drawing. Although, my Buzz Jr. have some darkish color in him, while his car is having a bit more brighter. I don't know how much bright, it's just red and green. And also give him those, well, I originally was thinking about give him half circular eyes. But I think it does not look angry enough, so I decided to give him eyebrows and those little angryish muscle muscle bandits. I also give him those orange cheeks, because I think he have cheeks. And this white slender sharp, because I think he have this very noodle-like mouth. Like freaking spaghetti, and you slice it in the middle to push it further and create something like a mouse. Now let's compare it with the original, and let's not talk any longer because, yeah, I don't know. Okay, comparing the original one and my version, first of all, okay, he's like way more brighter colors, and his head is green while his body is yellow. I think the same case for Bowser. Is that the same thing with Bowser? I think I did, but they have some exception. He does have those spikes, which is, I can easily manage if I wanted to. He have those bracelets, just like his papa. Okay, his napkin is white, but it's more doodle-like, which I didn't bloody remember. I think it was like full without doodling. Also, yeah, there's a inside of the mouse, but it's pinkish instead of this blackish. Also, line is blue and that stuff, mostly not matter. He have the teeth, but only one. I decided to give him like a full mouth of full teeth. But again, same my version of Bowser Jr. have his growth sprung. Also for hair, he have this, how can I call it, the ponytail with this metal band. I just remember him having Americans, but I mostly draw him like a baby Bowser, like bloody baby freaking Bowser. And for that stuff also, what else? Okay, his shell. Okay, the napkin covers his full body, but I think he does not have a shell. I mean, he has shell on his back, but his belly is fully open. Although the napkin is actually maybe hidden, so maybe he does have the full shell. Maybe it's something like Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, where the shell look generally not shelly at all. It's like, you know, just close of his. Like it does not go the full around of his body. Like the shoulders, it's fully open. It's just here and here. But his vehicle, it have those. First, it also have color inside of his eyes. I just ignore it. But to be fair, I did a completely different expression. While here I have this homeless expression, I give it a bit more fighting expression. Also those boxing gloves and different expression which I could not get. Although I think those pink dots next to his eyes, they're supposed to play the role of eyebrows, something like hairless eyebrows, which I think I like to do sometimes, which is, well, yeah, I like to do that, not much. But for the stuff, the propeller is so much big, but again, it's one of my problems where I super grounded with my space. For the stuff, the eyebrows is more spiky and stuff, and not much can say. So for the next one, let's bloody go. Okay, Dark Cut is one of my biggest work here because I take some creative liberties, which I can even call the award in my case. And I think I took it too far and make it super not nice and not close to original at all. Original, I have no idea what type of dog is the Dark Hunt dog is. I think I decided to turn into this dog with those flaps on the mouth, which is again still a hunted breed with long noses, but those flaps on the mouth with those dog flaps. But I think in my mind I didn't have any idea how to do it nice, look nice. I just had to draw a mouse and then those lines on the mouse and then remove it. So I think it's possible to tell on the on the left side, but not on the right side. On the right side, it's pretty normal. Decided to draw this dog ears, and man, it's like, for some reason, I decided to just try to memorize how to draw dog from perspective of look inside that. Because most of my animals, I'm always trying to draw them a bit to look in this way, to put the emphasis on the mouse. But here I just decided to draw those legs, back legs. I draw dog in the sitting position with the legs being spread. Of course, you will not see nothing in between, you judge a pervert. I mean, I know I'm the one who bringing this up. But now you think about this too, so I'm not the only one. Now for dog, I decided to do it just steady on the dog head. Decided to draw it a duck tail and look it this way, because I want to draw dog in profile. And because, I don't know, I just remember it in profile, plus it's 2D game and something like a dot to this. I think it's actually in the game, but maybe I'm wrong, because I totally can be wrong. Now for colors of duck, I decided to go with pink and blue because it's just like in the game. I know in the game I think they were a little bit more. But as I said, do also those lines on the body, like those lines. Because I don't know, I remember, but Duckhead is one of those games I know, which I never played. But I know about some gameplay facts. I know about gameplay facts. This game is about shooting ducks. There's nothing much plot in there. It just like, let's say, simulate. It does not need a plot. I mean, some simulators does have a plot and sometimes make it very nice. But this game is like super simple. So it does not need a plot. Now for dog, man, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not even close to the original dog. I had to give buttons in the belly because I think the original have buttons in the belly. I also think maybe Hunter was supposed to go a little bit further on his legs, back legs. The mouse, but because I really want to do it and look instead of you, I think I ruined it by this. The tank, maybe too fletchish. The collar, I think, because it's a pet dog, I think I give it a collar. The tank, pretty pessimistic. I know maybe I should make it big a bit more smaller because I think it's look almost like a stroke big. And for colors, yeah, not much. I just played with colors. I mean, I bloody don't remember of what colors. Well, I mean, I know what color dark was, but I don't remember in what way it was. I decided to just play with colors as much as I want, so it's like also creative liberties. But like with every character, there will be some. It almost will be close to redesigning instead of like doing from memory. Here, the dark, okay, not much of redesign, but it's have a uniqueness in it. Now let's bloody watch the original and then see how wrong I was. Because I think I'm pretty wrong with dog. I mean, the dark may be super close, but you know, let's see. Maybe I will be surprised. Okay, well, compared to the original, oh man. There's such cool bloody pose when I wish I think of this. I just decided like the most generic pose there is. Now, first of all, the dog is completely different breed. It's one of those long-eared dog, which again a hunted breed. Now for colors, it's like only 3 colors. On the mouse, it's whitish. There is dog, man, it's such actually I think I should practice. Also the dog mouse. Actually, no, it's not the one I will practice in the future. Maybe it can work, but I don't want to do this in the future. The nose is a bit the circle, the ears again long and floppier. It have those darkness in the eyes, but the color I think I pick for pale. The eyes are blue. Well, actually for eyes I decided to make them green because I didn't want the dog to have blue eyes because I make blue eyes for everything. But then I realized that the dog have blue eyes. The dogs actually have blue eyes in the real world. I don't remember dogs' eyes in the real world. I know cats can have blue eyes, but it's like very unique and very special. I mean, some breeds can have just blue eyes, so you know it's pretty nice-ish. It does have the color, but it's more detailed, black and with dots. The tail, but I'm not talking about the tail. There's no color on the belly just orange as hell. I mean, again, like I said, only 2 colors. Well, 4 colors. I'm cutting the eyes right now. Well, under the eyes. Talking about the duck, I think that yellowish feet are big, but the beak, yeah, I was saying earlier, I should probably make it a bit more shorter. The legs can work. The colors, yeah, big and blue. And I think I kicked the correct color of blue. Although, okay, the head is like totally full-time pink, but I decided to put it on the chest. Although it's ended on the neck with those white lines and one blue line. Although the blue color appears only on the back. I think I decided to do something like the vitals will only be on the belly, while the wing and on the neck will be this bluish, while the head and like interior inside of the body will totally be pink. Like maybe I could see like this bluish go a little bit on the wing and slash of the little bit on the back. But in my mind I didn't see this. I mean, the dog is terrible, the dog pretty similar, so I would say yeah, it's still like one of my weakest work. I will say like in this batch it's bloody bottom. I'm not proud of my dog hunt. But next you will see what I'm proud actually with. I mean it's simple, but we will see what I'm talking about right now. Okay, well I said the dog hunt is bottom of my liking list. I would say Ryu from Street Fighter is top of my liking list. I know his design like super simple and mostly because you cannot see his back and I don't think he have much details on his back. But for that one, man, okay, I would say in this one it's not much of the Rook, it's more like this Street Fighter. You know how there's many clones of Superman? Well, there's also lots of clones of Ryu. And I would say it's Ryu, but I think I mostly designed him on these clones of him. So mostly he have this ripped clothes, those very spiky anime hair, and most for us, man, mostly because you cannot see his arm behind his back, I decided to do this. Just the arm, like imagine there's like tons of action going on here, but you cannot see them because of this arm. I can now wiggle my fingers, actually I think to move my hands, but you cannot see my fingers. I'm tricky, aren't I? But for that stuff, mostly spiky anime hair, the bandana, this wrinkled bandana, and most karate clothes. Also I think I did the interesting effect of, usually I'm trying to create an effect of the neck and when they to connect each other. But this one, because he wearing pretty longish clothes, like the clothes which go on his tail, on his bones where he sit on, I decided to just shove them up, the lines up this line. So like effect of the clothes being pretty longish. And for him, very simple, but that's why I'm liking it. Although, is there anything else I can like? Well, Buzzy Jr. could be nice, but again I wouldn't say it's my favorite. There was further characters. Yes, he's like very simple. Again, give him feet. Also, I didn't draw him any leg, I just color of the skin on there. Yes, bloody simple because bloody hell I'm cheating as hell. Also give him blue eyes, blue spikes, and you know what? This video already getting pretty long, so let's just compare it with the original one and let's get to the next one. Okay, we'll compare them first of all. The Rook, well, I won't say Rook, but it's a Rook. First of all, he have this anime hair which is spiky but grounded, like it's not going overboard, and just stay on the lane of his hair, like he have a normal human hair which does not grow this long and they just stay inside. He have this bandana but is a bit more ripped, also go a bit more longer. The clothes I get right with those ribs here and ribs there, also the black belt, and mostly you cannot see his gloves and you cannot see his belt. The face shaped, I make it a bit more longer, and I would say I give him a very big head. On other ways, but he's not that muscular, although I think for the fact that you cannot see his hair, could assume that maybe he is pretty muscular. Also, you can see that I did the effect of his head looking this way, but again, he stayed from the back, but he twisted his head in that way so he could see. So I give this effect of lines on the neck to show the fact that head is twisted. Which again I like to do very much, but I'm not sure it's the right way to do it. Well, I wish I said it sooner instead of me comparing the drawing. That's not so bad. Okay, for the next character we should go. Man, Rook, your favorite. You've saved by some time. Okay, so for the next one we should go. Okay, so the next one is Ken. If my Rook, my favorite Ken is not much because I think I maybe took a bit more laziness, level in laziness. I would say my last 3 walks can be not as best I would imagine. Now for this one, mostly for clothes set on the same Ken. For face, for longer hair and more bigger chin because I think Ken used to be more cocky. I'm not sure a big memorizer of Street Fighter lore. Most I just always saw it just the Street Fighter games which in us there's no lore. Apparently there is a lore. I mean I think every game you play have a secret lore. I think you can basically go find secret lore for pawn. This game, can you imagine this game having a lore? What if I actually have a lore? You don't know about it, but it's there. Can you like imagine Pong having lore? Okay, if I have created a lore for Pong, I would say probably into spaceship which put rocks, bunch of rocks because they bore. It's again, I guess, the most laziest lore of them all, and pretty much the point of the game, like it's basically almost like the real life. I don't know, if I was creating lore for Pong, I would create something like this. Okay, and I guess it's like continuation of what I would do for Ryu body. Like his body exactly what Ryu would have if I draw his body up front. But just colored. Well, not reverse, I mean, he have red and black. And mostly again those. Yeah, not much I can say actually. I think, well, okay, Ryu is like lazy in the way I like, while Ken is lazy in a way I wish I could do a little bit more better. But for him, because most I did him this visible cut in the clothes which go like this, so you could see underneath a bit of clothes. I had to draw him something like a crotch line. I will call it a crotch line because it makes sense. I suddenly started drawing those lines. I think I learned from Alien X from Benton, where one leg go to lines, go this line, and from this line another leg. And it's something I start drawing pretty much often. It's poorly described, but again, yeah, not much I can say. For position, yeah, again, not much I can say. And I'm so bad with saying everything right now. Well, I'd say that I decided to draw him something like a chest lines and these bones, but I think I choose the wrong place where I would should start. I start them from the neck. I think it's not how it works. I think it's supposed to start from the shoulders and other places like this. So yeah, I choose the bad place to place. I think it's called clavicle. Maybe it's clavicle. But clavicle is something different. I'm talking about this one. I don't know what I can say actually. I decided to draw him this little cheek, although that his smile will be this line here, which I think I constantly want to use everywhere, because I want to freaking master it. For his arms, I think they're a bit more slender, because I think they literally have the same body structure. And considering the fact that Ryu is super buff, I think they can exactly same buffness. Here, I draw him with my typical art style, which is not very strong arms. So for this one, let's see how rock I was. So, for comparing characters, let's go. Okay, comparing him again, as I said earlier, he's more buffer, and he have this glove, so again, very much in Ryu. For hair, okay, I give him a bit more shaggy hair, while in original he have those luscious hair. Which I have no idea why I didn't do this. I think it's like most easier to remember thing. I think his clothes is fully red, except he have no ribs, so it's like full mirror. It's have some unique components, but different from Ryu. Also, his chest a bit more open, so he have a bit more muscle in there. The face, well, not that as I did, but again, it's more of my art style than actual face differences. For other stuff, okay, good thing that he does not make me say long about differences. I guess I did do only those lines, which is where the clothes being put on the starting lines, bigger lines, and positive color. I have no idea how to describe it, just keep. On the other hand, yeah, pretty gladly there's not much I can say, because well, my video is already getting pretty long and I don't want it to be an hour version of video, so let's just shut up and for the next one we shall go right now. Okay, so for the next character is canot, is exactly what I was talking about, the anime hair which go overbound, which I did, but I think I did it wrongly, because I think, I don't know, I'm like, okay, I think drawing spiky hair was always my problem. Like, then I start drawing, I have decided to draw comics where will be character with spiky hair. But, well, first of all, I couldn't draw any spiky hair, so it was half circular. And that's kind of also how my character's hair evolved. Like, I originally was thinking about giving them spiky hair. But then, they would never ended up spiky enough or spread enough. So, at some point, they were too close to each other. At some point, they were circular. At some point, them distant from each other pretty far was looking not so great. So, I started just drawing them right away, and I draw them right now. With this one, it was problem that I couldn't like spread them up super wild, because the distance between the hair would be look pretty weird. Also, I could like figure out the nice way to look at hair. Now for hair, I decided to just draw the spike this way, and then spike in the middle, which I think he does have. Although maybe I just remember one of the characters who supposed to represent Cloud from this game. Now, I know about Final Fantasy, I know about Cloud, I know about memes and that stuff, but again, it's not the games I play, because if a gamer, I am not much of the gamer. I never game much. I mean, I played Skyrim / Lego games about chocolate, and right now I'm having a gaming channel, but most of my gaming channel made of games, which I know sometimes and sometimes don't, and sometimes just I find randomly, which I still bloody enjoy. But I think I enjoy more making videos than actually playing. Now for Cloud, again give him on the shoulder these metallic parts with these bolts. Which again I would say is pretty weakish effect, because I don't think the bolts will look like this. Now for this one, I bloody couldn't remember, okay, not remember, I bloody couldn't figure out how to draw a nice arms, like because I'm thinking him drawing his sword, like on the ground, creating sparks. I think in the original he can totally like lift it up here and hold it like here. But I like the effect of him dragging the sword a little bit more and him actually carrying the sword in the right way. Try to figure out the way to do it. First of all, the hand position I couldn't figure out how to do it nicely. For this I have to go to the power of Google to find out the nice way to draw arms holding the sword. I found an image, I did something close to this and try to memorize it in the future because it looks not so bad. Now for sword also try to figure out how to make it big, like in the bigness I wanted. But first decide to draw his body first to understand when his legs will be located. And then draw the sword on the floor. Now for legs, I think maybe it could be bad place, I would say there's a possibility for this. And maybe the bed his body does not match the legs. And yeah, I think I would say it. Now for his clothes, I don't remember much of the details, I just remember he had something on his shoulder, he wearing pretty greyish clothes, and maybe belt. Yeah, belt, but I think he's wearing belt. Oh yeah, I give him where he wears the shoulder pads, this belt which go like something which would connect the shoulder pads to his entire body so it didn't flip. Does this shoulder pads have a meaning or just for coolness? I don't know why I would compare about coolness, I like cool things in my life. Now, and for her, just super blonde, okay, there's a little comment about something I would comment about really long time. I think I noticed I have a serious problem. My speech is super bloody boring, like I think I'm not saying nothing interesting to get your bloody attention. Which again, a problem I have constantly. But this problem, bloody right now annoys me the most. I mean, man, mostly when I'm talking, I can say something special, or comment about my drawing in a very interesting way. I would suddenly bloody shame myself for being such a terrible content creator. Like, because with this stuff, I'm, okay, you know, let's comment about this and I'll continue this thought later. Maybe at the end, I've been thinking about continuing this thought at the end to not disturb you or not distract you during my drawing process. But you know, I just decided to blow up right now a little bit. Now talking about the sword, I decided to do some shadows, like the holding will go darker, the blade will get lighter, there is the hole in the middle, and for boots, just simple boots. So I got started and I bloody don't remember what I want to say. So let's just bloody compare it with the original already, okay? Okay, comparing the original, again the spiky hair, okay, one side of the hair is like spiky, but the other side is like full blown on spike, so maybe it's like explosion, yes, like Bakugan, goddamn it, and that's what should connect with my thoughts. Now he have no sleeves, but I give him like very short sleeves, so maybe it can still count. He's pretty buffy to be fair. I don't have to carry this bloody sword, so no, duh, he's buffy. Also he wearing the jumper or sweater. Also he have this metallic plates, but I think it's have more plating than this. I just did one plate and those bolts like flowers, but it totally look like he just screwed something in it. Also he have this, does have this connected to the body, but it goes like this instead of the full on the body. Now he have wear gloves, I didn't give him gloves. One of the chefs of the character with gloves, not wearing gloves. A character who didn't have gloves, I give him gloves. Now he have wearing something like very big pants for him. Also boots with zippers. And I don't see those often, but I do make. Actually, I never drew shoes with zippers in my life. I have to think about. But I guess I gave him zipper boots. His sword have a red handle and super big, but the whiteness go from the on the side of the blade, not just on the tip of the blade. And he does have holes, not just two, not just one, the two holes. Also he have connection to the handle. So yeah, I just makes just giant piece of metal without anything, which make it even work. But on this note, yeah, not much I can say. The eyes are blue, I have to acknowledge this. The nose a bit longer, but still pointy. But I guess maybe my version can be close. I guess his chin a bit more triangular. I don't know, maybe it's anime, so I think they all have triangular chins. No, not all. I think Ryu didn't have triangular chins. I think Ryu exactly have the square chins. So on this note, For the next one, we shall go right now. Okay, so the next character is Corrin, and man, his name is like super close to Corn, so that's how usually I remember her as Corn. I have no idea where she's from as well. I want to say Fire Emblem, but I don't know. She's like can't transform into those dragon. Also, I think she's like half dragon, so does not sound like Fire Emblem to me. I have no idea what the lowest Fire Emblem is. I never watched it. I never watched gameplays. I never heard about it. I never watched lore. But talking about Corrin, man, I turned her into almost redesign of Zelda. Like I give her this crown, yellow hair, and those pointy ears, so it's like very close to what Zelda I did. But I decided to do with those armor and that stuff. Bloody hell, I get distracted. My brother is like going nuts, and you can probably hear on the background. Like there's a moment that there's some background noise. It's my brother freaking not respecting my personal space, or not space, but. People are screaming like hell right now, because he's playing. That's why he's understanding of play. And there's one of my problem with yours, so let's not talk about this. For Corrin, first one did this arms effect with a finger on the top of the pole, which I think I did pretty poorly to be fair, so it's my bad here. Did my favorite pinching effect, which I like to do. And for close, I decided to give you lots of those arms with those spikes and that stuff. For color, I will tell later, because right now it's too late for colors. I originally was thinking about giving her like super massive hips, but I could pull it off to be look nice, so I give her a little bit shorter tippy toes. And like, she have some serious proportion issue in my case, which again, sorry to you all. And for position, well, I remember she's like using a sword, but I think she's also a magic girl, so decided to give her, I don't know, I think it's pretty magical, but it's like super way open, so you know, maybe open position is something which can be classified as magical. Now I decided to do those effect of colors because I bloody don't remember how her armor is look. I think her armor is organic, so I decided to give it as much organic look as I can. Mostly like heighting or something like this. A lot of those colors, a lot of those space with flash, and then something what Mike would have. Give them a have a cough. Oh man, I'm coughing like hell today. Well, I'm coughing like hell this whole season, because usually I always get a cold or something to catch during the seasons with a study nose and serious coughing. Yeah, something like this. Now for colors, I think I decided to go with grayish / blue and yellowish. But again, there's will be two types of yellowish: the yellowish like goldish, and yellowish more organic natural. For spikes, because I want spikes look more natural. For these jewels and that stuff, I decided to go with yellow unnatural. And for empty spaces, for these dots, I decided to give them a bit darker color to be fair, I try to separate flesh. Like there's a hole in the armor which is actually real flesh of yours. Which is, again, super bloody gruesome. But bloody awesome. For that stuff, that's what you can say. I mean, I also want to do this effect of the skin being so wrinkly and boost. Like for something I did for my Pokemon, there's different type. For my metallic type, I did humans, where skeleton will be metallic and you will be able to see the skin. Now for here, again, for kills, decided to give yellows. And originally it was tough because I did color coloration a bit different. Like I was thinking about stacking, like it will be this bluish, lighter bluish, darkest bluish yellow, and then this. I messed up with the legs, so I decided to draw this more yellowish because I messed up with the legs. But I think it's look so bad, but it's not like from memory, it's just my personal opinion of what I did. So on this note, yeah, what can I else say? Decided to draw spikes on the hips, not much I can say. The fingers I decided to keep a little bit close, and I guess still proportion is not the best in the way. Now let's compare with the original one, because okay, now I see the 62 Corrin, this symbol of the sword. Is it Fire Emblem or is it, or maybe she's the character of your own game? I will again look in the future. Like let's be bloody make this video, then I look up in the future. Don't worry about this. Okay, comparing with original Corrin, first of all, her hair is not long as Zelda's. They're pretty short, and again would say they were spikish, but they not spiky, they were fluid. The eyes are red. I did blue, I was wrong, in a different spectrum. The ears are pointy, so that's right. Your armor is not very organic. Like I remember you have this organic armor. And plus she also got this helmet with super wide hole. Maybe that's why it looks pretty organic to me. Now, no, she's have a cape and her armor is black and white. Most like a paladin. She have this cape connected to the thing here. She have these flaps on her hips and she does not wear any shoes. She walking bare feet. Let's hope she not walk with glass. But I decided to give her like heels, which is one thing not very good. Although if she magic caster, she can handle it. I know she's not magic caster, she holding the sword right now. Sorry for that. She holding the sword right now. A very awesome sword. With blades, fire, gold, and a very uncomfortable handle. Like I can see how this handle is not very uncomfortable. So, now show her arm. So in the joint, there's a black in there. So maybe that's the weakest spot. But the armor covered her arms. Also, it's got this plating, so it's something interesting there. But also, the arms covered in gloves, which is black, but also go here and here. So again, nice effect. And most for that stuff, I bloody don't remember who she is. I don't man, I never know who she is. Have no idea about her lore. The only thing I know about her that she's Cap Dragon. But I know this about from a different guy who make videos. I think he was making videos about every species in Smash. Which again, I wasn't actually. Okay, maybe it was. So for that one, I think that's the last one. Yeah, it's the last one. So saying again, I think my Ryu is my favorite, Dark is my least favorite. Robin I did pretty nice, Shulk I did also pretty nice, but on this note, well, it was an interesting challenge. I guess I would say my last three was pretty lazy, and but Cloud wasn't actually lazy. But I think, well, not Cloud, I was feeling pretty lazy about, I just want to finish. But I think Cloud turned out pretty nice. I mean, with Corrin, I did overkill it a little bit with her, so sorry for that. But for other details, but what for other details? My speech today was pretty bad, but remember, I think most of half of my videos, speech in these videos, I can be mostly debatable. Sometimes I can have amazing speech, have so many ideas I want to talk about. I will talk about them and many more. But sometimes like I just go through video saying I did this, I have planned that, I use reference which I use that, and then have some random ideas I want to talk about and talking about this one. But mostly I think I'm just simple talking, not expressing any ideas. I was just talking what I see on my screen, so no personal thinking even more. It's again sad because again I don't really care to create like this. I want to be interesting, want me you want to watch me. But again it's still problematic for me because I have to bloody learn how to be interesting. It's a skill very hard to gain. On this note, it was ChipGP. I hope you like my Smash Dragon characters. If you want to watch some more, there will be a bunch in the bubble, recommendation, and that stuff, which will be at the end, and then go watch till the end. On this note, yeah, watch all of my videos, like, share, subscribe, and do that stuff, but mostly, I just want you to have an amazing day, and bye-bye, all the end screen. Also, check my title if you want to. Bye-bye, have a nice day. Bye.